I think that after a week or so of forensic archaeological work by Gloucestershire Police, they are now in a position to actually start the excavation work in the cellar, the basement of this cafe in Gloucester. This, as you say, is all linked to the disappearance of 15-year-old Mary Bastholm, who went missing back in 1968. She was working a shift at the cafe and was last seen at a bus stop as she was going to see her boyfriend at the time. Now, her disappearance has long been linked to the serial killer Fred West, who, of course, was charged with 12 murders of young women. He committed suicide before trial. We've had an update from Detective Chief Inspector John Turner, who is leading this fresh investigation. The big lines from what my chat uncovered with him was that they have found 6 voids underneath this cellar, 6 areas.
I was informed late on Friday evening last week that they had discovered a void within the basement area within the toilet, and when they put a drill hole in, they identified via a cadaver dog, which is a body recovery dog, a minor to medium indication of some interest within that void.
Specifically, because we've heard last night from you that there were some photographs taken, some imagery from the production company. Can you shine any light on exactly what they found?
Yeah, they put in an endoscope and they found what I would describe as a grainy image of what looked like to me blue material.
Right, OK, and the significance of that?
The significance is when Mary went missing in 1968, she was wearing a blue coat, a blue and white dress, and had a blue bag with her. The production company thought that was clearly significant, which is why they brought that to our attention.
Now, you said there was a void in a toilet in the basement, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, OK. When you say void, can you just expand on that? Was it?
Well, a void is, through ground-penetrating radar, they can say if there are anomalies within the ground. And what they're saying is, below the surface area of the concrete and tiles, there is a void, which is a hole within the ground, which is an anomaly. What the GPR won't say is what's in that void, but it will say that a void or a hole is within the ground.
OK. Tell us about the work that then, since then, once you were informed, what's been going on with your officers in the last week?
Well, what's been going on for the last few days, we've been working with a team of forensic archaeologists and anthropologists to go over the data provided by the production crew with their own GPR equipment. We've had to carry out health and safety assessments for enclosed space working because of the basement. We've had to employ structural engineers because we are going to excavate to make sure it's safe to do so. A couple of days ago, we identified the tiles over the toilet area are actually asbestos. So we're going to have to do some health and safety work to get those removed safely and clearly. The GPR crew informed me yesterday that they'd actually found 6 voids within the basement. To confirm of what the production company found, and then a further 4 in the back end of the basement towards the road.
Was it 2 that the production company had found?
Yes.
So you found a further 4?
Yes.
In the same sort of area by the toilet, or spread out?
No, further spread out, some in the corners and some towards the end, towards the roadway, effectively.
Dan, has something gone wrong, really, here in the police investigation? After all this took place, the disappearance 50 years ago, the Fred West case was a number of years ago, and yet it's apparently taken a television documentary makers to unearth this evidence. Shouldn't the police have been on it?
It's the question that I put to the officer later in that interview, which will bring you. I did say whether or not he thought this was a mistake at the time of the investigation. He used... He said that it wasn't a mistake. He said that the officers investigating at the time had conflicting evidence as to whether or not Fred West had carried out building work back in the late 60s when Mary went missing in the cellar at the bottom of the cafe there. His words were that at the time of the investigation, that went into sort of folklore, as he said, and it wasn't sufficient evidence to have to start any form of excavation or any assessments at the cafe. I did push him on that, saying there are many people saying, why wasn't there at least some ground penetration radar work carried out? He said with the evidence that has come to light since the production company, that is why he feels now this is the time to carry out this investigation. That, of course, will raise further questions if anything significant is found. One final point which is significant is that the detective did reveal that the cafe basement sits above an ancient burial ground, not uncommon in Roman towns, and there is a chance that anything found there could be unrelated to the disappearance of Mary. He has informed Mary's family about that. They have said that they are very happy that this excavation work is being carried out, and they hope that this will be a chance to put Mary to rest and hopefully bring conclusion to the story. The excavation work will start. A team will be going in tomorrow morning, and it will last around 2 weeks, we've been told.